So continuing on the project to get the ignition coil connector fixed on my 3.5 Ecoboost, which is in a 2016 Expedition. Ordered the new part, got the one from Amazon. I did not go with the Ford OEM one, so I can replace this clip. I thought that I'd be able to get away with saving a couple dollars. First thing you want to do to get this white piece out, and the way you do that is you take a very, very small screwdriver, you get that in the hole right there, and simply pry the white piece out. That will allow you to expose the wires inside. Now, of course, what you could do is just feed this wire through. Since there is no connection on here, you can go ahead and pull this wire all the way out, because ultimately all we want is this connector here. However, to practice, if you look straight in there, not sure if we can see it on camera, but there's a little tab that interfaces with the connector here to lock it in place. I've got a little electrical pin connector tool here, and I find the smallest tip, and all you can do is set that in there, very gently pry up the locking tab, and then you can squeeze it right out the back. And I'm just kind of practicing the maneuver and the motion, so when I'm under the hood, I'll be able to do it, because of course in that situation you can't just pull it right out the back of the connector. So you release the tab and the wire comes out the back. There's one more in there. Again, not sure if you can see inside, but there's a very small tab. So I'll use my tool just to fit it right down in there, lift up the tab, and squeeze it out the back. Sometimes if you put a little bit of forward pressure on, there'll be less pressure on that locking tab, and you'll be able to release it and then just squeeze it right out the back. So this is all we need. Well, I suppose this and this is all we need. So let's get under the hood and we'll disconnect the factory clip with the broken connector, and we'll replace this to make sure we don't have a loose connection moving forward. Here we are back under the hood. We'll go ahead and pop off the decorative cover and reveal the broken connector, which in my case is on the passenger side closest to the firewall. I use a step stool for this as I am not very tall, but in order to remove the decorative cover, pop off the oil filler cap, this pops off and jumps forward, and just out of an overabundance of caution, put the oil cap back on just in case. So again, mine is the connector in the very, very back. I will go ahead and work on replacing that one now, stepping on my step stool. There's not a lot of space to work back here. This wire is tethered down pretty tightly, but I should be able to get it all out. I just want to make sure I make note of the colors so I do not confuse the wires going back in. First step, remove the white plastic cap. Not sure how to get my hands in here. Take off my watch. See if I can get my hand right in here. All right. Pop off the white cap. And then I'm going to pull these wires out. It looks like we have green, blue, purple. I'm going to make sure I remember that sequence. Do not screw these up. Green. I might even put them on one at a time if I have enough space in here. That's pretty tight. I wonder if I can free up any more slack anywhere. doesn't look like it. I'll just have to figure it out. I don't really want to peel back this wire loom, but I will if I have to, because it's hard to get these popped out without any slack. I might have to go across the hood, across the engine bay, and lay on my belly to try to get in there. It's pretty tight. Well, after struggling with this for quite a while, I'm going to try to cut this harness just a bit and try to free it up a little bit. All right. In an effort to get a little bit more working room, I popped this connector off. Let's see if I can get this guy out of here. Get my hand in here a little better now. And I freed up these wires. Well, after much struggling and gymnastics with laying across the engine bay, I was finally able to get the connection replaced. I taped up with a little bit of electrical tape where I had peeled back the wire harness and plugged it back in, locked down with the red connector, and I will reattach this connector, whatever that is, without this thing. Set that right there. Maybe I'll zip tie that later. So, all is well. I'll give it a test start, make sure everything works okay, and we'll consider that done. 3.5 Ecoboost ignition coil connector replace after it busted when I was changing the coil or changing the plugs at 100,000 miles. All right, thanks everyone.